Hello everyone, welcome to News Now, and I'm your host Frederic Rigoulot, and today we have with us Franklin Tucker, the editor of the Belmontonian.com. Hi Franklin, how are you doing?
Just fine, thank you.
So, so first story is about tennis courts.
That's
And
right. The resolution of the resolution of tennis courts at the campus of the new middle and high school. This saga has gone on since, I believe, 2017, when the blueprint for the new school was being developed, and the blueprint, just the footprint of the school just became so big that they had to that the architects basically had to move one of the fields or courts off campus, and that turned out to be tennis. That was the first time that it was discussed, and then in the late 2019, early 2020, we had passionate tennis campaigners from both community and the sports team who were looking to put the at least five courts back onto the
Winbrook.
they wanted to put it. They wanted to return to the high school campus. Right now, the team is playing at the Winbrook School. There's another court that will be going on to the Win. Well, there's a request for money to pay for a new court to be placed at the Winbrook. That would make five courts that would allow a complete match to be played at that site. What happened is.
Yes, what happened on Tuesday night at the school committee meeting, right? Yeah.
Right. What happened Tuesday night was that Bill Lavala, who is the chair of the Belmont Middle and High School Building Committee, was asked to talk, and he basically got minced no words. He said to everybody, "Respect the process," and what he meant by that is three times either the building committee or the school district made a decision, and at least two of those decisions were made with public comment, and they decided that the process ended by saying, we're going to put the tennis team and the tennis courts over at the Winbrook.
Yes, but some of people who spoke up on that meeting on Tuesday night said that it wasn't a public meeting. It wasn't brought up in the public meeting, and that was a decision of the superintendent and the building committee. So, do they have some facts to?
They have. In fact, I was at public meetings. The last time this was decided by the school committee didn't actually decide on it. They said, we're going to take the recommendation of the athletic director and the school administration on where it should go, and they said it should go to the Winbrook. Now, I can remember the school committee in a overcrowded room with people expressing their opinion. So it was discussed, but there are people who, very passionate, and they have every right to say that, this is a high school varsity sport. Why isn't it at the campus? But what Bill Lavala also said is that you just can't go back. Once the train is left, once that whole process to build a high school, which is a very, there's a lot of compromise that has to go in here. But once it started, you can't go back. And I think that's really got the attention of the school committee, because even though one member, Mike Crowley, had a definite idea, he had like 5 or 6 proposals, he wanted to do a working group, there just wasn't the energy from the other members who wanted to go and push this. And if you were at the meeting just that agenda item of the meeting just sort of petered out. There's no energy left. And I think and I know that there's been talk that, it's going to be brought up at town meeting, or there's going to be another chance.
What I was about to ask is the next round at town meeting with the CPA funding seek for the fifth court at Winbrook?
Yes, I mean there are people who want to blow up the whole process, but I don't think that's not gonna help things. If you say we're not going to vote for the court at the Winbrook because we want 5 courts at the campus, that's not going to do anything. There's no, the impetus has to be from the school committee, and they basically said it's over. They just don't have they did look, as one member, Meg Moriarty, said, I want to talk about other things. I want to talk about the new geometry course load. And I think that's what a lot of people are doing. They're saying, this has been discussed. Listen to Bill Valvalo, respect the process. You can't go back.
Yeah,
you just can't.
Yeah.
And I know there was one person who was a commentator at that meeting on Tuesday who said, I'm gonna make sure that when this process, west of Harris Field comes for money, we're gonna defeat it. Where's the effort? You need more than just tennis people. You need to have the whole community behind it, and it's simply not happening. One person did say to me.
They brought up a good argument, good reason why to have the tennis court back to the campus, because they say that Greenbrook doesn't have lockers. All the other varsity games will have sports will have one. They don't have restroom to go to. Is that some accommodations that they can provide there?
Yes, I mean there's certainly there are you can accommodate restrooms and changing places and water. You can rent these portals that you can bring to the Winbrook for 4 months that will have a changing room and two restrooms. So rather than trying to start this whole process over again, try to find a way of accommodating and making Winbrook a little better.
Yeah. Okay. So move on to the second story. Okay. They at that meeting on Tuesday night, for the school committee meeting on Tuesday night, they also, Anne-Marie Mahoney, who is the chair of the capital budget committee, came and explained what capital spending for the school are coming up. The January roof is not part of them.
No, not yet. What Anne-Marie basically said came is, just what happens every year. There are certain things that have to be done at all our schools, and basically it's a lot of infrastructure. Boilers again have to be have to be replaced, and other items are there. But what the most important thing that Anne-Marie said is, right now we're going to have to think in the next year or so about the Chenery roof, and even though there at one time, they said it would take $1.5 million. You can kind of think about how you could put different sources like free cash and CRC, community reinvestment money, and try to do it that way. Turns out that was a low bid. That was a low estimate, and a real bid would be somewhere $4 to $6 million, and that doesn't include other items on the roof that are coming to its end of its life, useful life. So she basically said, "Look, we're going to have to we're going to have to think about that. The school committee is going to have to realize that we're going to have to deal with this." There is a long-term capital budget committee that has been created, but that's more of a town-wide. But she just wants wants everyone to realize that this is a big expense. We better start thinking about it, and there's no putting it off. She says, in the past, Belmont has been notorious for basically ignoring its infrastructure, and she said this time it's not. You can't let it happen. The Chenery Middle School is just too important.
Yes, and also she said that we need some staff to oversee the equipment, and especially for the high school with a high. How do you say that?
It's a very complex way of just everything about it. The electronics, the temperature, how to keep the temperature right. It's not. These aren't schools where you just open the window. Those days are over. You got internet and electronics and electricity and everything under the sun that is now all computerized and have to be managed by a manager. She said we have to hire not only a person for the high school, but for many things in town. We're just not in that age where we can just let it run by itself.
Yeah. So next story, we keep with school matters, but we are talking about vaccination among students.
That's right. What a great, this is a good story. Massachusetts is, I think, one of either the top or the second most vaccinated state. People, are going towards it. And one of the big groups that have been supportive of being vaccinated are teenagers. And at Belmont High School, these rates are just really fantastic. This is from as of May 10th, and this does not include the 2 vaccination events that happened at the middle school and the senior high school in the last week. So, the rates are freshmen at 52%, 10th graders at 63, juniors at 72%, and seniors at 80.5. So 4 out of 5 seniors have their vaccination. You can understand that there's been a bit of a lag for the younger kids because, number one, they're younger and they've just been approved for the vaccination. But I think we're going to pretty soon we're going to see rates among all high school students up in the 80%. So that's a very good, very very great accomplishment for people in this area.
And those numbers are for the 2 vaccination. It's just one shot, right? Because
just one shot right now.
Yeah.
Yes. So if you look at fully vaccinated, it would be 71% at the seniors, 62% for juniors. It looks like by September we could be very much fully vaccinated by the time kids go into the classroom, at least in terms of herd immunity.
Yeah, so maybe a real normal back to school time on the fall.
You bet. That's exactly what we expect.
Great. So thank you very much, Franklin. You can follow Franklin on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, and also on his website on belmontonian.com. And that's it for today News Now. I'm your host, and see you next time.